Welcome back to the Tmnt Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for April 17th, 2022, and we have some great news from Masterpiece, Legends, and a ton of mainline Transformers. Ramen Toys showing some updates to their mask project that is sorely needed in the mask community. We got some updates from NECA on their Turtle Van, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in the pre-order process, the payment plan, and it's coming close to an end. There's also some Silverhawks for Super 7. I did a whole video about this yesterday, but we're going to touch on it just briefly here. And then, of course, some Star Wars stuff to talk about. All this and more coming up. So happy Easter, everybody. Show Z has some pre-orders up for some of the CDL, the CDL03 Cat RC Catwoman. There's some Easter eggs embedded in this figure. This is a KO, but a recolor, a change, a metamorphosis of the Nicey from Firebird. Here's the alt mode, which is very reminiscent of the Nicey Firebird mold. So it looks pretty good. Overall, really cool color scheme, and it's only $99 versus some of these other crazy prices out there. They also have the CDL02 Alt Alita 1, so this is supposed to be Alita 1, and looks pretty good. Another Easter egg right there. Also $99 for this. Here is the alt mode, which is a pretty cool looking color. Nice Fembot team from the KO CDL. And the fourth party Masterpiece MP52 Plus Thundercracker version 2 is on sale at Show Z right now for $85. This is the same price as the Eagle one, and I hear the Eagle one's having some issues, but the mainline one, I did a review on this one. This is one I have, and I have no issues. I really like it. So, 01 Studio Cell is coming out with the 01B Cell, the G1 Unicron Cartoon Deco. Now, the thing about this is I look at this and I look at the original release and I think they look almost identical. I was kind of hoping this was the pumpkin orange and then more of the original release colors for all the other parts, but overall it still looks good. It looks just like the original release to me in my opinion, but it looks good, and the original one was good. The pumpkin one was pretty good too, and I like that pumpkin orange. Anyway, this is still available at Show Z for $349. So we've talked about Like Toys in the past. Like Toys is making a 3D printed version of Alpha Trion. He does not transform, but he looks amazing. He actually has ratchets. It's truly a decent looking action figure within itself there. Here is a much better picture. The paint is very metallic painted. Now, of course, this is a prototype or the very first one. Maybe they're going to get better and better as they go. But here's the thing. I don't know price. I don't know availability. I don't really know much about it. I have not bought from Like Toys yet, and I think they do amazing work. I'm blown away every time they put a picture out. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. But it is 3D printed. You see the 3D printed lines. But with this paint, though, it looks amazing. Best I've seen so far for an Alpha Trion in Masterpiece scale. Because you can see this is right next to an MP Prime and the Fans Toys Maverick and all of that. But I still don't know price. I might jump on this. I'd love to review this thing. This is a look at it from the back, and it's pretty clean. Of course, being an action figure only that does not transform, which I don't want my Alpha Trion to transform. I don't care. He didn't really transform in the cartoon, so I just like to see him look like this. Fans Hobby showed off their MB-18 Energy Commander again for like the 5th time, but now with a little bit of color. Not all the color, just a little bit of color. So it's more or less the limbs that connect to it or whatever that are colored. So there it is. Pretty cool. Nice, happy Easter present. Robosense coming out with this transforming trailer. It is 3 foot long. 3 foot long, $750. They're reissuing the Robosense Prime for $750. And this is a cool thing that's going on. It auto transforms, auto morphs. I don't have video of it, but here is the trailer itself. You kind of see like right down the middle. It does some sort of split halfway to push itself up and transform it and all that, and servos and gizmos in there to make it happen. But that's pretty cool. It also comes with a roller, and the roller I think has lights on it or something like that. I don't know. It's interesting. $750, way out of my ballpark for it's kind of a gimmick. It really is. It's a gimmick. It's kind of something that people play with for one day and then just leave on the shelf. I haven't seen hardly anybody getting excited about it lately. But I think a lot of people are disappointed because they thought Robosin was going to add to this with maybe some sort of Autobot car bots or something, maybe at a lower price point, and that didn't happen. So Yellow Park is putting out more pictures of their movie Earth mode Optimus Prime Plamo model kit, and this is a production sample, and it shows all of the pieces on the sprues that you got to put together. And it's kind of been brought to my attention that when I talk about these, I sound negative about models. It's just not for me. But one thing about this is you can get a very expensive figure for much cheaper, much lower price, because they don't have to pay the labor for someone to put it together. That's your labor. So you labor for this. And for that, some people find it therapeutic, some people find it fun, and some people find it as a sense of accomplishment, which it really is. I actually bought completed model kits from somebody else because I wanted it, but I just didn't want to do the work. So I do admire the people that go through this tedious process to make an excellent figure. A lot of fun for some. Ultimetals is coming out with a Rodimus and a Galvatron, and this is kind of interesting because if I am looking at this right, Ultimetal was the ones that made the $1,200 figures, I believe, but I might be wrong. There might be someone else with a slightly different variation of the name, but Action Toys Ultimetal Rodimus and Galvatron are here, 17-inch tall figures. They cost about $201 converted over, so I really don't know if when you get it to a US retailer, will it be even more expensive than that or not, but they do look stylized based on the IDW stylization, so with that, they look a little bit different. But they look kind of cool, and they each come with like a cannon and gun, but Rodimus does something a little bit different. He comes with extra parts to convert over from Rodimus to Hot Rod and back, kind of like what MP09 tried to do but failed. This is a much better way to do it. And Galvatron's cannon lights up. If that's a thing that you're into, then you're into that. Here's a real life picture of them in real life. So I like these real world photos so you can see it a lot better. And of course, we've got a matrix and some stuff going on with the Rodimus Hot Rod figure and then Galvatron and all that great paint. $200 figures that are huge, 17 inches. Back to some model kits for the Flame Toys Acid Storm, and here's the packaging for that, which looks kind of cool. Flame Toys is it shows up at Hobby Lobby and that kind of stuff, which I like that. The distribution is really good on this, pretty easy to get your hands on, so I like that. Here we go with the actual end result once you put it all together, showing all three of the Seekers with the stylized look and what you would get. Looking pretty cool. Queen Studios is putting out some pictures of their Transformers on the Throne, series Dark of the Moon, Megatron statue. Not really sure exactly how much it's going to cost just yet, but it's about 80 centimeters tall, which is, what is that, 30 something inches. So 80 centimeters, looks pretty cool, looks pretty impressive if you're into this aesthetic. They also put out pictures of the Queen Studios collectibles Revenge of the Fallen, Jetwing, Optimus Prime, and Megatron diorama. Makes sense to do these at the same time so that you can have Megatron and Prime together on a shelf, maybe opposite ends of the shelf. Well, it looks pretty good, and among that it has some Egyptian ruins and some other stuff going on right there. Looks pretty cool. Of course, you got the Jetfire parts. Take my parts. So, Kang Toys is still plugging away with their Kang Toys CT, Chaoyu 04 King Lion, and the 07 Darius. The thing about this is that these are color prototypes, and they're trying to dial away at this stylized Predaking that they've been working on for quite a while, and looks pretty interesting. Here we go with them kind of all armored up and standing side by side, looking very heroic. Looks pretty good. Now we do have an alt mode right here of one of them in the alt mode, and it looks great. I mean, just looks like so much detail, so much time, effort, and love went into this figure. Looks pretty good. Alright, so getting into this, we have a McFans Toys version of Optimus Prime. So it's Mechanic Toy X with Firefly's Toys, the MMT-01 Commander. And the thing about this is, I thought it was going to be Legends. I mean, I was reading all that, and I thought, this thing's gonna be Legends, but I did the math, and it's gonna be about 7 inches, so it's more of a third-party mainline. So that kind of blows me away. So looking at it, it does look pretty good. Comes with a bunch of accessories, slew of accessories. No price just yet, but kind of interesting. They're going for a slightly stylized version of G1, but still very close to G1. Love to see this in color and see more information about this. Of course, I'm going to talk about this Commander. So New Age Cyclonus blows everybody out of the water, including myself. I mean, really, it rivals Fans Toys in design. But the thing about it is that they're coming out with all the iterations of it already with the H43W Toshiro, and it's sort of, so instead of with what Fans Toys did in giving you all these IDW options and all that kind of stuff, they're doing a separate figure for it, which is okay if you're in for that. So the alt mode looks slightly different because of the skirt kind of deal, the side skirt kind of thing going on, but still pretty cool, pretty awesome. I just look forward to the standard release. That's what I want the most. And of course, they're going to make this mold, do an excellent design, and they're going to milk it to death. So this isn't really Legends, it's Micro Legends for Dr. Wu, but they're making a Cosmos that's out of this world. It looks pretty good, actually. It does look good. And here is the alt mode. So the thing about this is you start to wonder, like, exactly how big is this? If I were to put this into my own perspective, if I never bought one of these, how big would one of these be? Well, they're about this big. Give or take a little bit in your hand. That's how big they are. So it's interesting they're doing it. They're making sort of a micro scale Legends class, but it's more sub-Legends or Legends triple minus, quadruple minus. So, ton of mainline news getting into this possible first look at a Diaclone, Twin Twist, and Parasite. Now, the weird thing about all this is that this is saying it's a Titans Return Twin Twist Redeca, which Twin Twist is actually kind of hard to get your hands on these days. So, if that really is a recolor or redeco of that, that's pretty cool in a way, but most people really want the original more. Are they going to reissue the original or what? If they're playing with the mold, chances are they will reissue the original. Been a fan first Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, whatever going on this last week. So we got this Transformers Generation Leader Studio Series 22 Ultra Magnus, and so it's supposed to be what, IDW or something, but it looks like Delta Magnus color wise in a way. So it's pretty cool, it's pretty interesting. If this is something that you're into, then you might get excited about it. And they're just milking the mold. It's pretty much the same old mold for Ultra Magnus, but turned into this. So pretty cool. Just pretend it's Delta Magnus and you'll be alright. So we saw the $89 Commander class version of Motormaster 4 Hasbro, and looks okay. Looks pretty good. More or less exactly what we expected. I did not expect the knees to be so big. So it's kind of carrying around these ginormous knees at the end of the day, but it still looks okay. I don't think very many people will even keep it in this mode, or even in this mode. So this is the alt mode, which looks, in my opinion, kind of stubby. Short and stubby on the trailer. The cab looks fantastic. So, like, kudos to Hasbro for making that look so good. That actually does look really good. And of course, you got to go to a whole other tab to find this, but it turns into this Minosaur. So, Minosaur in the whole Combiner Wars was the worst Combiner Wars figure ever made or conceived of, and this rectifies that, and I think it's going to be a lot bigger than the original kind of Combiner Wars stuff going on right there, but I don't know yet. I don't have all the size dimensions and all that kind of stuff going on, but we do have the drag strip on the arm right there, and this does carry over large knee syndrome. Hopefully it gets a little better when you put some figures on it or some of the cars on it and all that kind of stuff, but overall, following what third party did, and looks pretty good. Redeems themselves from the first version of the Combiner Wars Minosaur. And if you care, there's a base mode. Maybe they went too far and they they drank too much of the X-Transbots Kool-Aid and had to do a base mode. I don't know. That's kind of the way I feel. Kind of the way this looks. Then we got Wild Rider. He looks pretty good. He looks alright. A mainline release. Some kibble on the back. It is what it is. Not horrible. Really nice looking alt mode. Very, very G1. So I kind of like that they're sticking with that. It works out. And of course we get a knockout. All in red. Looks pretty good. It's okay. I didn't really watch all of this. I just look at pictures and think, okay, it makes sense. They're trying to build this good old Minosaur and fill out the wave and all that kind of stuff. So looks pretty good. Looks pretty cool. Feels very, very G1 with a slight bit of style. So Beast Wars collectors are probably going to be in heaven with this Tarantulas. I think it looks really good. So Tarantulas does look really good. And he looks like what I'd expect. But a massive improvement over the G1 or the original. Beast Wars ain't no G1. So the original Beast Wars. And in the alt mode, he does look like a tarantula with the purple and all that stuff going on. I've never seen a purple tarantula yet. But I'm sure they're out there. And one day, if I encounter it, it might not be pleasant. So this is Elita 1. And I think that they did a really good job in the Netflix version of Elita 1, bot-wise. So alt mode maybe not as good, but still pretty cool looking one there. So they're redoing it, and I'm wondering why are they redoing the Fembot. So it's like the third or fourth Fembot mold they've gone to. Here's the alt mode, and you can kind of see that. So this is where you're kind of starting to say from Siege to Legacy, there are some duds and some studs, and you're going to have to pick the ones you like the most. If you like this, you win, of course, and you can pick this. But the Netflix one was pretty good. So we got a Hijax figure that looks pretty cool. He's not going to hijack my video, but he looks alright. He looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure... Well, I don't know. Is this going to be part of the main line? I'm not even sure about that. I did not watch the whole thing or any of it, by the way. So I probably might go back and watch it one day. But I don't like their live streams, so it's kind of boring. I like just getting the pictures and the info. Here's the alt mode. So, yeah, is he going to hijack anything? Wait, hold on a second. I need to put my ginormous red transparent gloves on and talk about this. Is Hasbro really making another Blitzwing? Like, the Titan Returns one was great. We gotta make another Blitzwing? Like, nobody even knew this was coming out of the blue. Like, nobody had a clue this was on the way. No, that's not an Easter egg surprise. We've known about this for a while because of reasons. Here's the tank mode that we saw. Man, that really was transformed right overall. And sadly, that was transformed right also. Wow. Just wow. So, here's the thing. I gotta say, the alt modes in the G1 toy destroy this version. And you're gonna be paying $50 for this. I think you can get a G1 toy for like $6 on eBay right now. Yes, I know, we're all buying it for the bot mode. Nobody cares about the alt modes. As bad as they can be. Nobody really cares. The bot mode looks that good. We have a red Galvatron on its way, and this is what it's going to look like in hand images. Officially, some random dude gets to announce all this stuff. I'm going to start announcing some stuff myself and just make it up, but here we go. I think it looks good. I think it does look pretty good. I do really wish, and I've said this 100 times, red should scale with the main line. You should be able to swap these things on your shelf and not make these look like the tiny little brother that's 2 or 3 years younger. So if you missed the Amazon Pterosaur that I talked about for 2 months while it was pre-orderable, now you can get a toy-colored version, not the toon-colored version, which still, both of them look great, by the way. I still haven't opened mine because I'm thinking I'll never get another one from Amazon, and now we get a mainline. So obviously I'll pick up the mainline and check all that out stuff. This is one of the better character-wise, from Beast Wars. And to me, a really cool aesthetic. Here's the alt mode, but I do want to tell you this did not come from Hasbro, so consider this a rumor. This is all rumor and speculation. It may never get made. So there's somebody out there making custom G2 kits of Megatron. It might be Hasbro, but it might be Like Toys. So we really don't know at this point until it's released. But this is a G2 redeco of the original Megatron that Hasbro's putting out in their core class, or Legends, or whatever they call it this week, for their $10 price point now. And the reason this even exists, my son asked me, why does this even exist? So kids or even adult collectors can collect all these figures and have a nice shelf of stuff for $10. With that being said, I'm going to transition into Walmart's are clearancing out core class from Kingdom to go to the legacy packaging in $7. So a Soundwave, that's a pretty cool looking Soundwave for $7. And whatever that green dude is down there, can I read that? Anyway, I don't even know what it is. I'm pretty sure those are going to go to 3, maybe 2 before it's all over. More clearance that you're going to see at the Walmarts are some deluxe figures going for 13, and then Voyager's going for 21. So you can see that in this picture here. Check your Walmarts. They're not all the same. They don't all clearance at the same time, the same price, the same rate. It's really strange how they do it. Should be sort of a national thing, but it depends on your store and how much inventory they're sitting on. And I think some of the leaders are going to like 25. Hallmark's making another Optimus Prime ornament, and I think the one they did like 3 years ago, 4 years ago was pretty good. So they're putting out this one. It's slightly different. If you're into this, then make your holiday more festive, fun, and more than meets the eye. A Russian retail site, Wild Berries, is giving us a first look at the CGI renders of Optimus Prime from The Rise of the Beast, and it's a stationary folder, basically what you need for school. Put on your folder, and it's showing that the artwork on this looks a lot like the Bumblebee Optimus Prime, so it makes sense though. The first Bumblebee movie was Bumblebee movie. The second one was going to be called Optimus Prime, so they're just calling it Rise of the Beast. So a lot of names have changed and all that, but the plans are still the same. Yes, this is Masterpiece news, whatever. But it's at the end of this. The MPM 13 is going to be announced next week. So the movie Masterpiece, which we haven't had one, I guess, in a while, is coming up, and they're going to announce it. It's a big deal. I think it's RC. But am I wrong? Ramen Toys put out some more pictures of their shark, and this is going to be the vehicle of Gloria Baker. And yes, it does have all kinds of funky different colors, but I kind of think the color differentiation is so you can see all the different parts that go into it and all the different workings. This will be the first version of this vehicle that actually converts, transforms, changes, and the other ones were model kits that you just disassembled and then put back together in different forms. I really do look forward to this, and anything else they're making will be awesome. This week we have the NECA Turtle Van. I think we only have a day or two left to pre-order this at the NECA store. I don't know if it'll ever see Targets or a retail release. This is a $250 Turtle Van in the Turtle Van Wars. Now, I've kept asking viewers, do you want me to make a video talking about this? I'm not going to spend 4 or 5 hours if nobody really cares or not. So let me know. I will spend 4 or 5 hours making a video explaining all three, the pluses, minuses, good and bad, and why I went with these two. So anyway, I do have this on the way. I pre-ordered this. Put it on the payment plan. It's like $62 for 4 payments, but it's weird. It's every 2 weeks, not monthly. Also, Show Z's got an arrival notice coming in for the Underground Arsenal, and that thing looks really good. In my opinion, it's going to be the winner, but I'm not going to state that just yet. I'm going to wait until I have this to compare and all that kind of stuff, but it looks really good. And for the price, it's still a $250. Maybe I think it's up to $270 or $80 now. The price has kind of gone up slowly as quantity diminishes. Super 7 has revealed their Wave 3 of the Silverhawks, and I made an entire video about this. It was a lot of fun, a lot of work. But looking at this, these do look great. This line looks great, but we need to really get some of these figures in hand to kind of have an idea how it's going, how it's working. And Ramen Toy is also making some of them, but I think Super 7 is going to make more characters than Ramen Toy, and Ramen Toy is going for a different style. These are more like cartoon. If you want to see everything I think about this, check out my video from Saturday. So I don't talk much about Marvel, but the Moon Knight figures are revealed, I guess you could say, and I'm watching this series on Disney Plus with my family. I don't like subscription services. I think they're terrible. I think they should all offer a free option with ads, but they don't. So anyway, getting into all of this, I was wondering if the Moon Knight figure would have that little crest, or the moon crest, on his chest as a weapon, and it doesn't plug into his chest according to this. So I really thought it would have been cool if they integrated all of that, but they didn't. But still, they kind of look pretty cool, interesting. They're doubling down on this as their big thing right now. So Hiya Toys is putting out pictures of their Judge Dredd figures, and this is the Judge, Anderson, and Clegg. And the thing is that I thought they were going to be like 6-inch tall, but they're going to be 3.75 inch tall. Now that's pretty much what Hiya Toys does, but Hiya Toys is also entering into the 6-inch market also with some of the other toy lines. So looking at these, look pretty good. And is this the chick that says Murder, Death, Kill, or is that the wrong one? Mega's coming out with their Garax figure, and this is for the Defenders of the Earth. Looks pretty cool, looks pretty good, and there's not much to Defenders of the Earth, so they're going to be able to dial out the entire team very fast. They're already doing multitude of recolors, reissues of the original figures, but it's good they're dialing out the whole cast, and they'll have it all done before it's over. And G.I. Joe is starting to clearance out at Walmart. It's $15 for these Movie Wave figures. They'll probably get cheaper. Hopefully they can get them out of the way so new product can come in. So this week's Star Wars news is about what's showing up at retail. So Mandalorian version 2 of Retro Collection. This is Boba Fett. And all the figures are starting to show up around, well, other places, not here. Same thing with Black Series. So this wave that has Echo and all that kind of stuff. And another, is this the 4th or 5th Black Series version of Ahsoka and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's starting to show up. That was actually at Walgreens. Here's a nice little picture of a Target find for some vintage collection. So looks pretty good, pretty cool, pretty exciting. Stuff's actually showing up, and hopefully all the clearances coming out will kind of clear some space. But most of my Walmarts and some of my Targets that are around here are kind of full of old figures that are not moving. But I do want to say there's a lot of street dated stuff at Target for the 17th. So that's today. Yeah, it's kind of a hit and miss each week on Star Wars, so you gotta find what you can. But what do you know about this week's weekly news review? What do you think? Is there anything else out there that I'm missing? Is there some really good stuff, some good deals, some sales, some new releases, new reveals that I didn't talk about? I'd like to know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Try to hear him. Hanger out.